At 3:10 a.m. on June 7, 1917, the ground beneath a ridge in West Flanders stopped being solid. In the span of 19 seconds, 19 underground mines detonated beneath German positions along a 10-kilometer front. It was, at the time, the largest man-made explosion in history, and it was heard in London, over 220 kilometers away. By 1917, the Ypres salient was a wound that wouldn't close. British and Commonwealth forces held a bulge in the line, surrounded on three sides by German-held high ground, and the most critical piece of that high ground was Messines Ridge. Barely 60 meters tall, but tall enough to let German observers watch nearly every Allied movement for kilometers around. General Sir Herbert Plumer, commander of the British Second Army, had a reputation for caution bordering on obsession. He believed in bite and hold. Take limited objectives, hold them completely, and never overreach. For Messines, his plan would take that philosophy underground. The idea wasn't new. Miners had been burrowing beneath enemy lines since 1915. But what Plumer authorized was different in scale entirely. A coordinated network of deep mines, dug not for weeks, but for over a year, in near total silence. The digging fell to specialist tunneling companies, many of them former coal miners, sewer workers, and London Underground navvies. Some units, like the 171st Tunneling Company, were staffed by clay kickers, men who worked lying on their backs, using their legs to drive spades into the soft Flanders clay, silently without the swing of a pickaxe that might carry through the earth. And the Germans were listening. Both sides used geophones, sensitive underground microphones, to detect the scrape of enemy digging. It became a war fought by sound and silence. A dropped tool, a muffled cough, any of it could give away a tunnel's position. Once discovered, the enemy would dig a counter-tunnel and detonate a smaller camouflage charge, collapsing the shaft and burying the men inside alive. The main galleries ran 25 to over 30 meters underground, deep enough to escape most German countermining. Men dug through waterlogged sand layers and hauled spoil out in sandbags disguised to blend with the soil so aircraft wouldn't spot fresh earth. By 1917, German and British tunnels sometimes ran within meters of each other, separated by nothing but clay and the fear of being heard first. Countermining crews would freeze mid-dig, straining to hear a pickaxe on the other side of the wall. One tunnel beneath a fortified position called the Birdcage was abandoned by the British after the Germans got dangerously close. The charge was left in place, forgotten, until a lightning strike ignited it in 1955. No one was killed, but it was a reminder of the unexploded ordnance. By the spring of 1917, 24 mines had been completed, packed with roughly 450 tons of ammonal explosive. The Germans suspected something. For a week before the attack, British artillery hammered the ridge in a preliminary bombardment designed to look like an ordinary assault. At 2:50 a.m. on June 7th, the guns fell silent. 10 minutes of quiet followed, an eerie stillness that unsettled troops on both sides. Then, at 3:10 a.m. precisely, 19 of the mines were fired in sequence, each triggered electrically from command posts kilometers behind the line. Witnesses described the ground itself rising into the air in great orange-lit columns, followed by a shockwave that flattened men in the trenches. Prime Minister David Lloyd George reportedly felt the vibration through the floor. Residents in southeast England woke to a deep, distant boom. Beneath the ridge, an estimated 10,000 German soldiers were killed in the initial detonations. It remains one of the deadliest single moments of planned destruction. 9 massive craters remain scattered across the Belgian countryside to this day. The largest, at Spanbroek Molen, is now the Pool of Peace. In the chaos that followed, British, Australian, and New Zealand infantry advanced quickly, taking the ridge within hours, a rare, decisive tactical victory. But the underground war had a haunting coda. Of the original 24 mines, only 19 were detonated, either because the German retreat made them unnecessary or because their locations had simply been lost. 4 mines were still known to be unaccounted for by the war's end. One detonated in 1955. The others remained somewhere beneath the peaceful farmland of Flanders. Messines Ridge is farmland again. Sheep graze in craters where thousands died in an instant, but the silence there was the product of the most dangerous engineering of the war. In memory of the tunnelers and soldiers of all nations who fought and died at Messines Ridge, 1917.